Alright, let's assess a lot of the pros and the cons here. This has been a straight month of juggled competitive gameplay across Destiny 2 that has rewarded me with a lot of success through the platform, but also a lot of constant varying setbacks due to a number of specific situations. And it's only going to continue to get harder from here on out to seek competitive success on Destiny, so revision is necessary to steady the path forward as the pressure mounts. All the varying competitive platforms have been closed off at this time, barring Rainbow Six Siege and Destiny 2. That way it'll be easier to better hone in on what two specific competitive grids that need the most attention from me, being these platforms. As it stands right now, I continue to teeter somewhere around Heroic 1 and Bravery 3, which generally stands around the whole 800 to 1000 point marker. I'm actually now currently blessed to be able to be standing at Heroic 2, which puts me somewhere in the 1300s margin. I'm not that far off from Fable, thankfully, because all I have to do now is do Heroic 3, and then after Heroic 3, I'm right at Fable 1, greatness is achieved. But that small little gap, as small as it may be now, there is stumbling blocks right now, and it's enough to piss a motherfucker off. Anyway, it stands at the 1300 point margin for the numerical nitwit. It never gets much further than that due to numerous factors online that are assessed now. Starting with the competitive team assessment with and without LFGtracker.net to help this along. I said way in advance at the start of Season of Opulence that I'd be composing my own competitive team to strive for Fabled rank, and then I'm done with Destiny until September to see what this whole Shadow Keep bullshit is that's going to be. Hoping that I can even reach that point. Analysis 1. The setbacks here is lacking in the proper overpowered firepower to take into the harder toxic matches that will randomly pop up in streak successions or in successive victorious match sessions. Streaks. A series of grinds that are being slowly seen to as time can allow, with a constantly shifting schedule between in real life affairs, a lot of varying life shit, and constantly divided online dealings and responsibilities between what it is I'm still occasionally doing on PS3 when I have the time, and here on PlayStation 4. You know, good help is getting harder and harder to find these days because there's a lot more people that are doing whatever the fuck they want to do, being off in their own little stupid ass world, so trying to find help is imaginary now. It becomes a very tedious daily juggling act with constant setbacks to work around or manage. Pinnacle weaponry has been acquired so far, and there's still some more coming that I'm working towards, and I'm able to create varying different builds based off of said pinnacle weapons for my Warlock as well as my Titan now that I brought back from my Destiny 1 adventures. I brought my Titan back into play. A setback I am seeing also is a constant lacking of extended team synergy, positivity, strategic practicality, or even competitive stamina in itself. I reached out to many players on my listings, friends of friends, and those having re-added me upon my return to the Destiny 2 platform a ways back, even though some of that was honestly a really big mistake. Finding out that a fair handful of them were also current or past competitive players. Here's the problem when I call on those guys as help, is that some of you aren't really up for comp or competitive, yet you still play PvP. So it varies in whatever the hell you really want to do. And add further complications. Some people aren't of my time zone here in the US Eastern time zone. And it's going to be constant hit and misses, more so along the lines of it being constant misses that can't be helped. Some are willing to play, but are also just one and done people, as opposed to doing Iron Banner or Vault or Lockdown and just spam the shit out of that, which is just as competitive, but there's no there's not as much loss as there is in competitive, because in competitive you get the rank that goes up and goes down as you lose. In Vault and Lockdown you will also have your share of competitive players, but there isn't as big of a risk, obviously. But the amount of sweaty players there is just as magmatic. Some of you out there lie or sit there unresponsive when you can just say, no, I'm not really interested. And then you piss me off the most of every trifling Destiny motherfucker still breathing on this goddamn platform. Like, it's stressful enough trying to manage the correct team for whatever that's worth, and whatever consistency there is for as long as it lasts that night, in addition to my own general personal competitive consistency, without a lot of you highly lazy jackasses and idiots on my friends list not giving a damn enough to take a few seconds to tell me what you want to do after my messages were sent out to ask for your help, since it was so gracefully put out there, but rather you just sit and screw with my goddamn time. I expect better from my friends list in this damn community, knowing that I stay social with a lot of players, yet I will still see that no response is a valid response, and that if you want anything done right, you do it your damn self. Period. It's the same old shit, and it gets old. Gets old real fast. I can easily help you with any of your quests or any crap that you need done, yet you go silent when I need your help for something that I'm stuck with. Then there's the LFGtracker. Oh my god, my head. Then there's the LFGtracker itself, with a constant dice roll of shifty expectation and realization. There are the willingly team-friendly players that are great teammates to work with, even though we almost always lose in close or highly decisive matches. This is good and bad most of the time, as these players can learn how to be further competitive in a healthy sense with a good playing group. In a good, healthy playing group. Then there's the sweat stains that glue together the bullshit of tryharding beyond given rationality. The ones good enough to carry teams and still blame those around them for everything that goes wrong instead of communicating. Basically doing it all, then talking about some fucking KD standing out above the rest like some Call of Duty bullshit matters in this platform. There have been people wanting to help me that I trust to do their fair share much more smoothly than randoms and blueberries that are on hand all the time to do this game, but their inconsistency or lack of given availability forces my decisions to pick randoms over them all the time, or almost all the time, in order to continue my progressions. Besides, unfortunately, you have to bet on randoms sooner or later, so I'd rather pick a poison now, get it over with, and see how long it pays off till the side effects kick in, which unfortunately seem to be much sooner than later. As I resume to go in solo more frequently now, this will be a constant dice roll I have to expect from here on out. Oh, my head. Those that know me personally, you know where and how to reach me. Everybody else, you don't matter to me now for playing this fucking game. Like, you all seriously don't matter to me now. I'll remove my services from the Destiny 2 community after September. I'm honestly doing that now, but I'm going to just officially remove it after September so everything's updated in full. And I'm going to stop helping people from here on out. I'd rather be a selfish motherfucker than be some type of gracious fool that goes around helping people, and I can do everything I say I can do, and everybody here who knows it wants to be an ungrateful piece of shit, only to get nothing in return. Constantly. Nothing. Also, I want you to delete me from your friends list, because I'm not going to keep carrying around trash on my friends list for those that say they're going to help me but don't do shit for me. I get real tired of that same song and dance. So do yourself the favor and delete me, otherwise I'll just delete you and be on about my way. It's time I focus just on me and forget about putting my offers to others before me if it's not returned. It's not so much that I'm owed by people, ingrateful people at that, but I'm demanding of responsive and reliable players when I have need of help with something that most signed on board to help with after I agreed to carry you through your small endeavors. Or in a few players' cases, letting me be on your account just to do said task for you that you wanted done solo, then keep it to myself in the means of another favor you would then return to me when I ask. I'm asking now to own up to said favor, yet I'm left hanging, I see. And that's okay, because I expected that shit to happen somewhere along the lines. Then there's my own capabilities and to how far or the general lengths they can go based on self-analysis. So as much as I want to believe that I'm that good to be able to handle my own business, which I can to some extent, and I can believe it, but I can't believe it much because it leaves a lot to be desired constantly. And the fact is that I'm not. Otherwise, all this accomplishments that I seek for myself in having and wanting to be fabled would have been done by now. It's a team-based game, yet the flaw right there lies in carrying your own weight that splits up teamwork as the match continues in order to succeed. Or at best communicate through body language, if not the game chat, since the game chat is a dead feature to help people. To those looking to join my competitive team, don't bother any further, I suppose. I'm handling my own shit just to attempt to stay on top of competitive, and I aim to continue doing this solo as stressful as it will continue to be. And then on top of that, a mounting selective layer that happens every other comp game seems to be some type of random lag out that happens. Not so much a lag out from the game, but out of being able to participate in the contest. Is difficult to explain.
Victory is within reach. Crush them.
Oh my god, not now. And then another factor that plays in here with this stupid competitive is because it keeps loading me out with this weird bug that keeps happening, exactly like what I'm looking at right now. Where like we're doing okay, we're doing fine, we're almost about to win this crap, and then it just glitches out like this.
5 lives left.
Like you're stuck to just spectating your teammates.
Lives left.
Like it's almost to a point where I almost have to just accept probably just being carried. That way it's just easy to try and get this right. Back in the direction of my original conversation, this is what mostly remains of my friends list now, is the one of 2 pending 3 pages. There used to be 5 pages, but I deleted the other 2 because I'm tired of looking at people signing in whom should be here helping me as we were originally agreed to do, but will not help me. And so you're dead to me. And I want your stupid trifling ass off my friends list immediately. As for everybody else, I believe that a lot of you that I brought on board from LFGtracker in order to join my Destiny competitive team aren't really completely ready to be committed to a full outright grind into competitive mode. It's not me trying to be aggressive about the topic, but I need to be very direct in how I'm feeling here based off of what it is I've seen thus far in the past, about 2.5 months I've been trying to do this crap, and it still hasn't been done. This is very straightforward, and I can see this happening, but there have been a number of factors constantly setting this back. You play casually, but you don't play any further than that because of a number of your guys' selective individual preferences, or else normally laid back, lackadaisical, lazy-ish attitudes, both of which are annoying as fuck to want to be around or to try and endure amidst the struggle. For those that do join my closed party, you join my party, but you barely talk or speak to one another. You barely even give any call outs at that to a lot proper coordination and cooperation. You just shut the fuck up and sit there like everyone knows what you're gonna do or what you want to do. People here aren't psychics. You have a mic. If something happens you don't know about or you want to travel together, then say something or just do it. People can't read minds. You can probably read body language, but you can't read minds. When I made my public bid online to all of the Bungie media about assembling a legit competitive Destiny team, I don't need the sweatiest people around to get the same damn job done by straightforward basic PvP players, and I meant that. Bringing on board a lot of constructive, quote-unquote constructive randoms, everybody's made this crap harder than it needs to be for something that's very straightforward. And several trial runs into competitive, risking this all on LFG randoms, coordinated or non-coordinated. Personally, I feel players failed to grasp the general point about working together more diligently to strive towards the same goal to achieve victory. I understand people aren't always gear savvy if you don't always have the strongest gear or you don't have enough strong gear in order to compete, and you got to try and make do with what you got, and that's okay. But there shouldn't be such a big issue around there being no synergy or no communications to apply at all. That's a damn shame that you can't even get that, even if you can't get good weapons. As for anyone else I'm seeing so far, it's a dead effort that I care very little for, if any. Anybody else answering my public team assessment, you just join and leave when nobody talks, or else you just leave period when you see my KD, like that dumb shit's supposed to matter in Destiny. You can take that stupid ignorant shit back to Call of Duty. It's not needed here, and it's not needed in my presence. Same is said for public players making posts on a lot of famous or established YouTube channels saying, hey, if anyone ever needs anyone to play with, feel free to add me. If you need help getting Lunas or Not Forgotten, I can help. I've helped blah 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 people. My PSN is called Kiss My Ass. You're just as pretentious as the sweatier players than me, throwing around fake help only to those you feel like helping because it's not convenient to anyone else but you. You put it out there that you're a person that can help things be done faster, but is not actually willing to be the person that can help. In other words, you're being fake.
5 minutes remaining.
Bunch of stupid ass waste of space. I'm glad I deleted a lot of you, and a lot of them, as they were more useless than what was led to be believed. I refuse to shut out all forms of aid to complete my task, but I will disown liars, cheaters, and pretenders, truthful and fake ones. I refuse to be carried through competitive by idiots that take credit for everything the team does. I'm not that low just yet. I refuse to pay for a carrying service to build a team when I already play the damn game and I can competently play the game from start to finish myself. I refuse to lie about my own online accomplishments just to get people's attention to join my team or to join my cause. I refuse to deal with the egotistical assholes that claim to throw their weight around for topping the board plenty of times, yet accuse others of being dead weight on the team when they wouldn't be here to do comp in the first place if they sucked that bad. They'd just get kicked or they wouldn't even be here, period. And I aim to use all of my gear to destroy everything in my way between now and fabled rank competition. And I refuse to be talked down to by peers when I've accomplished the same shit as every other no-life on this gridiron without needing an impressive or overly overwhelming KD to quote-unquote flex variables that are exhibited only in the field by convenience and not at any other time because nobody gives a damn. You want to sit there and brag or whip your dick out about what you can do that nobody else can do, take that shit to the original D2 players that stopped playing after Forsaken took over. But hey, none of them are around, are they? Can't take any of this dramatic shit anymore, but I have to stomach it further to get what I came here for. It doesn't take a genius to know how all this will continue at this rate of incompetence or bad timing, or empty and hollow teamwork effectiveness outside trustworthy people, and the lack of consistent and reliable players at that. I have to do a lot more solo queues. As much as others can help this shit be a lot less stressful in balancing, they won't. I have to sit here and I gotta stressfully keep juggling this shit with Rainbow Six Siege back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. It's frustrating. Constant excess variables turn everyone into critics and liars, so I need to resume doing this shit by myself now. Day in and out, this shit gets exhausting, trying to be ready for literally anything that happens while I'm doing everything for me, when I can't physically do it, being drained all the time, constantly burning a fucking candle at two ends constantly every day. Or whenever it is I have time to actually be on PSN in order to do this dumb shit. I'm going to keep doing this till I get exactly what the hell I wanted from D2 that I came all the way back for to get. My mind was already made up when I became a comp-only player. But the mounting untimely and needless setbacks are making me regret trying to enjoy anything relevant to Destiny at this point. It's enough anger to say more than need be about Destiny's next generation of cunts and wannabes that I won't take back once it's said. But I have to be positive. I have to continue to be positive. I need to focus and continue to generate my own positivity to work in, like I've been doing. And I need to continue to expand off of those own good vibes. And I gotta keep my own good vibes going. I gotta stay in rhythm. And just do me. And lastly, in my revision here, I'm going to sit here and analyze the tier listings for exactly how far away Fabled is from my present footing. I'm sitting right now on Heroic 2 at a 1390, so let us continue our assessment. Fable 2 is my current footholding, so according to the tier listings here, I'm actually sitting in a pretty good place. And so from there, I just go down the list and make sure that it stays to competitive and not valor, since there's a differentiation between the two. Thankfully, the momentum off of Iron Banner also helped us along graciously with the ×2 glory grind. As I'm reading here, it states that the current listings here, the point range capping off point for Heroic teeters around the 2099 and 2100 point margins respectively. So when it hits that cap, roughly I've been able to get through the lot of Heroic, and then I cross right over into the following ranking tier. That's precisely where I need to be at. So I need to win, so between 1390 and the 2100 margin, that's about a total of 800 unanswered points that have yet to be accumulated. And if I'm not mistaken, each rank game, I think, gets you about maybe 50 or 60, but I'm not going to quote myself on that. And what this does is this leaves about maybe 10 or 12 games unanswered about. But from what it is I can study here, the best way to get to the rank of Fabled is to play in a group. And then it's also seeming to be of note here that the reset for when you do approximately the 3 matches that give you the bonus, that bump up seems to also give you the added juice in point accumulations. If I'm looking at this correctly from their calculations, when you play the 3, you receive the bonus sum of glory on the next reset, comparable to what it is you get on the bonus sum of valor. And that sum is the 120 points. And the 120 points covers a huge margin of error. So if I can get to that margin upon a reset and or play off of a streak, those are 2 positive that play in my corner in reaching Fabled. So I'm going to go on ahead and start here and give me something to work with, which is the positive point out of all of this. So, yay.